Alan Dershowitz, one of Epstein's former lawyers, is talking about the new charges and more in his first TV interview since Epstein's indictment. Dershowitz defended Epstein against sex abuse allegations in Florida more than a decade ago. One of Epstein's accusers now, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, claims she was forced to have sex with Dershowitz as part of Epstein's alleged sex trafficking operation. Dershowitz says Giuffre and her lawyer, David Boies, falsely accused him as part of an elaborate extortion scheme. Giuffre is now suing him for defamation. Mola Lenghi spoke to Dershowitz last night at his New York City apartment. That would be Dershowitz's apartment, not Mola's. Mola, what did Alan have to say?
Well, good morning, Tony. Yeah, Alan Dershowitz vehemently denies the allegations brought against him by Virginia Giuffre. He says he had no idea about the extent of the allegations against Jeffrey Epstein when he took on his case back in 2008. But he says defending controversial clients is just part of the job.
Did you ever see Mr. Epstein with underage girls?
No. Oh, no. If I had ever seen Jeffrey Epstein in any inappropriate situation with an underage girl, I would have terminated my relationship and turned him in. No way.
So you're obviously surprised by the allegations.
We were shocked by the allegations, but as a criminal lawyer, being shocked by an allegation doesn't mean that I won't defend somebody.
Alan Dershowitz helped negotiate what many have criticized as a lenient plea deal for Jeffrey Epstein in 2008. Dershowitz denies the deal was a bargain, instead arguing prosecutors lacked the evidence to indict Epstein for federal sex trafficking charges.
They thought they would lose, so they
made
cut
a deal.
this deal.
And for them, it was not a bad deal. They got him to be a registered sex offender, to pay vast amounts of money to all of the women, and to get him to plead and go to jail and expose him for the world to see as a sex offender. I think the feds thought it was the best they could do.
An in-depth investigation by the Miami Herald in November uncovered police records alleging Epstein molested dozens of underage girls. One detective told the paper the evidence supporting the girls' claims was overwhelming.
Obviously, there's a lot of talk about this being a result of Mr. Epstein's wealth and power. Do you think anyone else would have gotten this sort of deal?
Oh, I think a lot of people without the power and wealth might have gotten a better deal. His prominence, his fame, made it clear that the prosecution would work very hard to get the best possible deal they could. Look, wealth is a two-edged sword. It helps you put together a very good legal team, but it also puts you in the public eye in a way that makes the prosecution work very hard.
But this deal was kept very much under the wraps.
I had nothing to do with that part of it.
But legal, ethical, you'd go back and make the same deal and you think it was all squared away.
I would try to get a better deal. The job of a criminal defense attorney is to try to get the best possible deal.
Part of the immunity deal left open the avenue for civil charges to be brought up against Mr. Epstein. Any idea how many civil cases have been brought against him, how much money has been paid out?
I wasn't involved at all in the financial aspects of it. I'm a criminal lawyer, not a civil lawyer, but from what I know, tens of millions of dollars were paid out to many, many alleged victims.
Dershowitz is seeking to throw out a defamation lawsuit brought against him by Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who accuses him of participating in Epstein's alleged sex trafficking ring. Dershowitz says he has proof Giuffre is lying.
The same woman that accused me claimed to have had dinner with Bill Clinton and two underage girls on Jeffrey Epstein's island, claimed to have met Al Gore and Tipper Gore's Secret Service records show that all of that is fantasy and made up. This is a woman with a long, long record of lying for money.
Well, overnight, Giuffre filed opposition papers in a motion to dismiss her lawsuit, opposing Dershowitz's motion to dismiss her lawsuit. Her lawyers say that Dershowitz is intentionally lying about her in an effort to discredit her and also to intimidate her into silence, Tony.
Mola, thank you very much. Dershowitz is also saying that these are politically motivated charges against him.
We should remind people that a court has determined that that plea deal was illegal, in part because the victims were never notified about it.
I'm also curious about his definition of a better deal, because what we're hearing seems like a pretty good deal.
It's also noteworthy that Dershowitz is talking about weak evidence, but not about an innocent client.
Yes.
Exactly.
Former President Bill Clinton is keeping silent on his close relationship to a convicted sex offender as renewed attention is pinned on his long history of sexual misconduct allegations. The Clinton Presidential Library refused to respond to a request submitted last week seeking information on Clinton's close ties with billionaire Jeffrey Epstein.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Epstein was convicted for soliciting sex from underage girls as young as 14 back in 2008, to which he served a short 13-month prison sentence. According to reports, Epstein used his private jet, dubbed as the Lolita Express, to fly his friends around where they were offered sex with underage girls. The Boeing 727 jet was reportedly outfitted with a bed where passengers had group sex on during the flights, which was verified by an air hostess back in 2015.
Did you ever think that maybe more was going on than simple massages?
Looking back, of course.
Was there a bed on the airplane?
Actually, yes, there was.
According to flight records, Bill Clinton traveled with Epstein on board the Lolita Express a total of 26 times from 2001 to 2003. Flight logs indicate only the first names of the female passengers were listed on the flights Clinton took, and showed he ditched his Secret Service detail on 5 of the trips. On one of the flights, Clinton was joined by actor Kevin Spacey, who is now accused of sexual misconduct with an underage boy. Epstein's assistant Sarah Kellen was accused in court filings of recruiting and grooming underage girls to perform sex acts with the billionaire and his friends, and sometimes participated in the alleged acts. She traveled with Clinton on as many as 11 of the flights that he took. According to reports, Epstein would also fly his friends to his private 72-acre island in the Virgin Islands, where a team of human traffickers allegedly rounded up girls as young as 12 to service Epstein and his friends during their visit. It is unclear if Clinton ever visited the island. In 2015, Judicial Watch submitted a request to the Department of Homeland Security to obtain records of Secret Service expenses used by Clinton during his trips with Epstein. According to the watchdog group, the department never handed over the records.
Well, as alleged in the indictment, these individuals, the underage girls, were sometimes recruited by current victims, and current victims were given cash payments if they could bring other underage girls to be similarly abused. And that's how he continued to expand the number of new victims that he had, and that's how it was able to maintain itself over several years. Including the many voices of Epstein's alleged victims must be heard. To that end, I want to say to anyone who's watching this or hearing about our prosecution, if you believe you are a victim of this man, Jeffrey Epstein, or you have evidence or information relating to the conduct alleged in the indictment unsealed today, we want to hear from you. Please.
Yeah. Time to drain that swamp, man. Time to drain it. Let all that sewage water leak out. Jeffrey Epstein. Time to clean the pipes, man. Jeffrey Epstein, that kind of rhymes with Weinstein. It's got that stain in it, right? He's a convicted child molester. No, he's a registered sex offender. Yeah, same thing. This dude is a sexual deviant. Hey, stop laughing. Say, no, the way you said it. That's the way I said it. It's the way you said it. All right, man. You made it all cinematic when you said it. Yeah, man. I made it. Do it again, man. What'd I do? Made it cinematic. Yeah. All right, look here. Jeffrey Epstein, billionaire, convicted sex offender. Yeah. He is the poster child for white privilege. Right? No, man, come on, man. Ain't no such thing as white privilege. I'm just playing. That's just... Anybody with an IQ above 3 knows there ain't no such thing as white privilege. Yeah, okay, let's get to the story. Yeah. All right. I think it was a decade or so ago, that's when he got convicted. Yeah. Took a plea deal, man. Took some kind of plea deal. He should have got more time. Yeah, should have got life. But he got like some kind of plea deal. Yeah. I'm thinking the evidence was shaky. They planned him out. Was shaky? Yeah, shaky, man. Oh. When you have evidence against somebody, you give him a plea deal. So next time he does something similar, you throw the book out. I'm thinking some white privilege. No, you know what it was? No, man. He's a billionaire. I'm thinking some money got exchanged. Yeah. And that's what made this go away. But now he's an investment banker, man. Banks have been ripping people off for years and they don't get no jail time. Matter of fact, the government always bails them out. So, all right, let's get back to the story. Yeah, man, what you talking about, banks? Yeah, man, banks been ripping off people for years. Shut up. All right, Epstein, kind of like Weinstein. Man, you already said that. All right, but anyway, he's been arrested, right? Yeah. Now, this dude's got some high-profile friends. Bill Clinton's one of them. He spent a whole lot of time with Bill. Matter of fact, him and Bill, Bill sounds like to me, Bill his right-hand man, right? Okay, look, this is what's going on, right? Like this billionaire Epstein, he's got him a mansion down in the Caribbean, right? Yeah. And he always takes his private plane out there. Man, I wish I had a private plane and a mansion in the Caribbean. I bet it's beautiful, man. And him and Bill used to fly down now. Not once, not twice, not even 3 times, not even 5, not even 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's enough! Bill hung out with this sex offender, flew on this plane 26 times down to his private home on this private cottage on this private island. Now look here, man. Now me and my brother's close. Ain't never went to no foreign place 26 times with my brother together. What's that got to do with anything? What's the motive to going out to the Caribbean with this man 26 times? I mean, what could be his motive? Yeah, Acosta. What could be the catalyst? Yeah, for me to keep returning to the same spot over and over? I'll get tired of it, man. Yeah, because Bill Clinton, he wasn't taking Secret Service with him. He said, hey, y'all hold back on this one. Yeah, it's just me and my boy going. Just me and my boy Jeffrey. I don't need no protection. I'm good. Yeah, I got this. Yeah, go. Y'all stop stalking me, man. So it's kind of people's bringing Bill's name up. So Bill came out here recently with a statement saying, hey, maybe we was just cool. Yeah, I didn't know this dude was fucking girls. Stop laughing at that shit, man. Dog, you said it wrong. I didn't know he was having sex with underage girls. Yeah. Now look here, man. Let me tell y'all something. Women, y'all probably don't even realize this. Y'all probably do, but some of y'all don't. Yeah. When dudes are together behind closed doors, oh, we tell all our secrets. It's like a damn demon get it. We be like, hey man, let me tell you about this girl, man, I met. Oh man, I was at the grocery store, I was getting some apples and grapes, right? Before I know it, she was sucking me off. I took her back to my pad and this happened, and then I did this and she wanted this and I did that. And then her friend came in, I was like, wait a minute, this is getting crazy. Yeah. I said, yeah, I did this to her and I did that. She liked it this way and I did this and then I did this again. So for Bill to say he didn't know he was doing that, that's the first thing that comes up when men are just hanging out. Women. What do you think we talking about? Think we talking politics? You thinking Bill's going down to the Caribbean to talk about new green deals? Trying to save American jobs? Hell no! Bill's going down there to bust him some nuts. And his wife wasn't with him? Man, come on, man. 26 times? If I tried to go to the Caribbean with some rich white billionaire, my wife say, what the fuck are y'all doing down there? Why can't I come along? I want to go to the fucking Caribbean too. Yeah, like me and Keith, we went to, my nephew, man, he went to Colombia, man. And I was like, hey, baby, I just want to take some time away, man. Me and Keith, we're going to go down to Colombia, maybe with Bill. With my nephew. Yeah, for a couple weeks, man, just to hang out, with the boys. What said, fuck you! You ain't going nowhere, I'm going! If Bill is trying to say he's totally innocent and he didn't do anything and he had no idea that Mr. Epstein was doing these things, he's a bold-faced liar. I've heard that before from you, Bill. It depends on what the definition is. I did not have sex with that woman. No, he didn't say that. He said, I didn't have sexual relations with that woman. Bill, that dude's a sex maniac, I heard. I heard he busted nuts in this black woman that was a maid, Had a kid by and everything, just paid off. When they just busted his nuts on him. So you mean to tell me it's a little brown version of Bill? That sound got an S curl. Hey man, y'all remember Arnold Schwarzenegger? He had sex with his maid. He's this little tan version of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Hey, they're saying Epstein. Yeah. If they don't kill him first, he's gonna roll over on everybody. Yeah, there's a lot of prestigious people was going down there with him on this plane, man. I mean, prestigious like Hollywood politicians. Yeah, damn prime ministers from other countries. They said Stephen Hawking was with him, man. Yeah, the dude in the wheelchair. That dude with that big old brain that had all those physical disabilities, but it was one of the smartest, brilliant people of all time was going with Mr. Epstein, whatever his damn name was, you know? I bet you he's gonna be the first one to roll on. Yeah, Steven, man, he was wild, man. You wouldn't know, but his dick got hard as hell. Him in that wheelchair, he was doing crazy shit. Dude was popping willies and busting nuts. Too bad he's dead and gone. Yeah. He had some shit on some other people, but he gone, man. He gone. I hope this guy rolls over on people, opens up Pandora's box of hell. Gonna drain that swamp, man. Yeah.
Following Jeffrey Epstein's arrest and the very serious charges he faces in relation to his sexual relations with minors, we're now learning about what authorities were able to uncover as they raided his home. So he has this giant mansion essentially in New York, and authorities did raid it. And yesterday when we reported on this story, we mentioned that they had uncovered images of what appeared to be young girls, but we weren't sure yet whether or not those photos contained minors. Well, now we know. During the search of his townhouse, investigators seized photographs of nude underage girls. So I want to just quickly go to a video that gives you more detail into what the raid was and how it took place. Take a look.
New raid video showing federal agents as they bust open the door of his 7-story, $77 million home on Manhattan's Upper East Side. In a dramatic news conference on Monday, the U.S. attorney saying inside, investigators found hundreds, if not thousands, of female nude or partially nude photographs. Some of the photos seeming to show underage girls. And inside of a locked safe, compact discs. One allegedly labeled Young Miscellaneous Nudes 1, another titled Girl Pics Nude.
So there are now reports about those CDs that were uncovered and how they could contain, information or dirt on individuals that he would be able to extort.
Yeah, so look, let's talk about that a little bit. So number one, it could just be his own personal stash, and maybe he didn't want to go online for fear of getting caught online, and he actually bought the CDs and then put them in a safe, and they have underage girls. That's what it's like, basically partly labeled, as you just saw. Or it could be that he's got pictures of people, other people with the underage girls. And so if you're, for example, the sweetheart deal he got down in South Florida for these same crimes was unbelievable. I'll just remind you of what that was. He was put on the sex offender list, but he got the rest of the plea was, well, just not for underage girls, not for statutory rape, not for any of that, just solicitation of prostitution. It's a 13-month sentence. You might say, well, okay, 13 months sounds, well, depends. I mean, if it's statutory rape of dozens of girls, it doesn't sound bad at all. It sounds amazingly lenient, but it gets way worse. He was allowed out of prison for 6 out of 7 days to work because he's rich. So like, well, he runs a hedge fund, so we gotta let him out of work. If you're a mechanic, sad day for you. They're not gonna let you out of prison to work. You actually have to feed your family. He doesn't. Anyway, you know how many hours they let him out of prison to work? 16 hours. Mm-hmm. So basically, prison was a hotel room that he went to go sleep at. He spent the whole day at his office, his house, etc. So it was a joke. It was a total joke. And Alexander Acosta, who's the current Labor Secretary, is the one that made that deal when he was district attorney down in Florida. By the way, why is he Labor Secretary? A bit random, isn't it?
Right.
Okay. And one of the guys that Epstein has been connected to is Donald Trump. Now, we don't know what's in those, and we don't know if Trump did anything, and even if he did anything, whether Epstein had anything on him. And remember, he gets a sweetheart deal many years ago, well before Trump's in office, but Clinton is also associated with Epstein. Bill Clinton is. So, and Acosta's a Republican, and all of a sudden he winds up as Labor Secretary. Fascinating how that worked.
So I want to focus a little bit on the mansion that was raided, because the New York Times wrote a pretty lengthy piece about what people have seen within those walls. First of all, the mansion is out of control. It's gigantic. It used to serve, that building used to serve as a private school. And the way that he purchased it, well, he didn't even, there was no cash exchange. It seems like he kind of stole that property, which is insane.
Yeah, we don't know that.
Yeah.
So what we do know is that a lot of these incredibly wealthy folks play a lot of games to avoid taxes and avoid the government. You can't avoid taxes, but they can, because they're rich, they're corrupt, they buy off politicians, etc.
Yeah.
He bought this from the guy who originally started a company that includes Victoria's Secret. And they did it in a transaction offshore. So it's unclear if he paid anything for it. He paid a lot for it. It's totally unclear. Did he have something on that guy? And that's why it doesn't look like he paid anything. No one knows. Now that guy says, whoa, I cut off ties with Epstein 10 years ago. Trump, of course, Clinton jumps in and goes, I cut off ties with him 15 years ago.
Everyone apparently had a falling out with Epstein about a decade ago.
Right, and Trump now jumps in and goes, me too. Right. I had a falling out with him too. Yeah, that's what happened, just like the other guys say.
So let's talk a little bit about that mansion. I want to go to graphic 9 just to give you a sense of, the tax games that Cenk alluded to earlier. Prosecutors say the home is valued at $77 million, but the city's Department of Finance estimated this year that the mansion was valued closer to $56 million. The 2019 property taxes for the home, though, which are based on a much lower assessed value, were an estimated $347,000.
So look, this house is mental, and I want to describe it to you, and to give you a sense of how little. When the rich say, "Oh no, I can't pay more taxes," it's outrageous. How much of a lie that is. Okay, so first of all, by evading taxes and the higher assessment value there, he saved about $200,000 a year on property taxes. So that's another trick that the rich use to get their way. Now, what's in the house? First of all, House of Horrors, weird stuff, which is unsurprising, like a real life-sized mannequin of a woman hanging from a chandelier.
Yeah. Let me give you more though. Okay, so again, this is from the New York Times. On the second floor is a mural that Epstein had commissioned in recent years, a photorealistic prison scene that included barbed wire, corrections officers, and a guard station with Epstein portrayed in the middle. Now, there was a public relations specialist who gave the Times a quote about this, and he said to me, "That's me, and I had this painted because there's always the possibility that could be me again."
Okay, so that's weird, and I wouldn't want to look at a picture of me inside a prison, but maybe that motivates him, whatever, right?
So the visitors each said they were greeted by a tall woman who spoke with an Eastern European accent, who led guests up a marble staircase, which by the way sounds really nice, to a study on another floor. At the base of the stairwell, one of the visitors said Epstein had placed a chessboard with custom figurines dressed in underwear. Each piece, he noted, was modeled after one of his staffers.
That's insanity. Okay, look, first of all, what are you, Dr. Evil? Like, so you have your Eastern European henchman or henchwoman leading people up. Okay, could be random. The chessboard, could you imagine if I said to the staffers here, okay, Edwin, I need you to pose in your underwear because you're gonna be one of the pawns in my chess set. What? Like what? And if you have this much money, I guess people will do anything for you. And so I guess they suffered through that to get paid. But that's insanity times 10.
Well, the Daily Beast did one of these "Where Are They Now" articles on various women who worked for him. And there was one woman who really stood out to me. She's a pilot now, but she was actually brought to the United States from Eastern Europe by Epstein. And he would brag to people about how he basically paid her parents who were living in poverty for her. Like he bought her to be his slave. That's how he would refer to her. Okay. So that gives you a sense of how he treated his so-called staffers and the people around him. It didn't necessarily have to do with money. He had, according to accounts, he had real power over them.
So it's and obviously he bought that through the money, et cetera. But last thing on the house, and this is the one that really put me over the top. So let me give you a quick description and then the over the top part. So it's on between 5th and Madison Avenue on 71st Street, which is an amazing area of New York. So already any house there is going to be really expensive. It's 7 floors. My mind cannot comprehend how expensive that is. I get it that it's the prosecutors think it's $77 million, but wow, holy cow, right? But this is the one that's the finishing touch. The sidewalks outside the house, not inside the house, the sidewalks are heated.
Well, you got to melt the snow, Cenk.
Well, of course.
The snow's got to melt.
I mean, Epstein can't slip on the snow like commoners do. He's got to have it heated as he steps into his limo. Oh, or one of his 15 cars. He has at least 15 cars. You know, what does that tell you? People this wealthy, they literally don't know what to do with their money. I mean, heating the sidewalk is like almost literally burning the money.
No, but look, I didn't bring up the sidewalk because I actually get it.
No,
I hate the snow.
No.
Like, who wants to shovel snow in their sidewalk? No one does. So if you have the money to heat the sidewalk, you're gonna pay.
He's not shoveling the sidewalk. Are you insane? He's gonna hire people to shovel the sidewalk. He just doesn't want to have any risk of slipping. It's such an unbelievable waste of money.
Okay, fine. That's okay.
70%. I was against 70%, but for every dollar above 10 million, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is right. And when I say I was against it, when I was younger, that's one of the reasons I was a Republican. 70% seemed high, but it's for every dollar above a certain amount. For above $10 million, let's go to 70%. They're burning it in the streets anyway.
Right. Look, you know I agree with you on that. That said, if I could warm heated floors. Heated floors are
first
amazing.
Of all, that's extravagant.
How do they do it though? How do they do it?
You put the thing on the. Okay, look. Look, it's extravagant. I get it. I'm drawing the line at the sidewalk. Okay, and I don't think it's too much to ask for. Anyway, look, back to the important stuff. Why is Acosta Labor Secretary? I mean, what an unbelievable coincidence.
That's a great question, and that's the next story.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to that too. And we're gonna get to everybody's reactions about Acosta. But the reason I bring it up in the context of this part of the Epstein story is because this is what happens when you have too much money influencing politics. It corrupts everyone. And next thing you know, there are public officials looking out for and doing favors for a guy who's accused of molesting, sexually assaulting, et cetera, dozens of underage girls, who's got eyeballs in his walls. And this is not what America is supposed to be about. And unfortunately, that's what it's devolved to, where the richest people in the country can buy everything, including justice. Epstein also has not only a number of apartments in Paris, New York, South Florida, et cetera, and these giant homes and mansions, he owns an island, a whole island in the Caribbean.
It's a small island.
Yeah, and so you wonder why Alex Acosta made that deal? You wonder why he kept getting promoted after that deal by the powerful? Epstein's got pictures in his apartment of Bill Clinton, Woody Allen, Mohammed bin Salman, the crown prince of Saudi Arabia. Trump says he used to pal around with him, but broke off relations 15 years ago. Sure you did. And then I wound up randomly out of all the 330 million people in the country picking Acosta as my labor secretary, the guy who let off my buddy from the molestation charges. What a wonderful coincidence. And all those right-wingers who are always like, oh my God, the child molesters, it's the Democrats. When it's their boy, all of a sudden, no way, it wasn't Trump. He probably picked the